You guys did meet Jude before, didn't you?
I met him at an event. Yeah.
Yeah.
That room in London, I think.
That's right. Yeah.
Was it Momentum Day?
I think so. There's about 700 of us in a little tiny room.
Yeah, it must have been Momentum Day then.
Sure, no.
Sorry, Steve. I want to say congratulations! You had your 20k month. That's amazing.
I know it takes. God, even talking about it now, it's still like you still can't believe it. You have to keep going in and checking it and looking at it, and you're like, we've done it, because it just seemed forever away from getting anywhere near it, and now it's here. It's like, okay, now what? Yeah.
Amazing.
It's mad, actually. It's not anti-climax, but you know where you get somewhere and you think, oh, what now? You know, like the day after a wedding, and you think, oh shit, the wedding's finished now. I could do that all again. You know what I mean?
It's a funny feeling, because you've been striving for 2.5 years to get there, and then we're there, and then it's like, okay, now what?
What is the next goal then?
Probably 250.
Keep it.
Spend it. Try and go on bloody holiday or something.
Yeah.
Workation. Yeah, it's mad. How are you guys anyway?
We're good. So I'm finally doing the modules now after trying for 2 years.
Yeah.
So
what turned you to that, Jude? What's made you go to that now after a few years?
I think, what is it now? I think there's some sort of like the penny drop. So Carlene is saying because a friend of mine got talking to me. I tell you what it is. I'm really good at winging things, right? So I used to be a pre-sales consultant, and I could just basically skim something, retain it, and sell it. So,
and also, if I can just add, Jude's done a lot of interviews for contracting, so he might have 100, 150, even 200 interviews in a year. Yeah. So he's got a bit of the gift of the gab.
Yeah.
So what was happening is that I was able to sell. I heard basically getting secondhand information from Carlene, and if I was talking to someone about SFM, what SFM was, they would be like, nah, it's not wrong. Or Carlene would overhear my conversation and go, nah, that's not right, nah, that's not right, that's not right, that's not right. So I go, okay, I'm sick and tired of not being right. So I'm gonna make sure I'm doing the right thing to become right.
Right. Okay.
I think also, to be honest, timing, timing, now that Jude is working from home all the time, and he's not traveling to London, and he was commuting probably 4 days of the week, 4 hours a day to and from London, and doing your certificates for the IT stuff as well, weren't you? Yeah. So he sort of dabbled and helped with the odd video and bits and pieces, but more of a silent partner, weren't you? Well, and now you've got the time and the energy and the brain space, really.
Yeah, because not the problem, but my rat race is a rat race as a rat as big as a cow on a treadmill, if that makes sense. One of those wheels. What's happening is that cow gets bigger and stronger and faster. And that's the IT world. And then what happens is that it just gets dumped, just completely dumped. And then you now have to reinvent yourself to become a seahorse, right? Something completely in a different world is what I'm trying to. So then I have to now retrain to try to keep up with this race that I'm in. So what's happening is that it was very difficult for me to hop off of that ladder to then try to be in the digital world, because I don't want to just call it SFM, nor do I want to call it affiliated, because now that I've done modules 1 and going into modules 2 and 3, I've come to realize that SFM, the training, is not just about them, and it's about the broader or bigger picture. Yeah. So I think that's what's happened. So now, and what's happened is that I'm just going, look, I'm 41. I'm sick and tired of working. My kids are growing up. I'm going to need to be at home more, because I'm seeing the difference of Carlene not being so tired since I've been at home. The kids are actually on an even keel, because then it's easier for the kids to be managed with 2 adults, 2 parents, rather than just one.
Yeah, it was tough on me.
Yeah.
The years that you were working in London, doing, you know, all the mummy duties, and then building a business as well. And as you know, there's always training, there's always things to learn, isn't there?
Yeah.
So it's definitely helped having Jude home more with the like parental stuff and household stuff. But it's only been the last couple of weeks since you've excuse me, started doing the module 1, but it fell in line with the marketing mastery. So Jude is also doing the 5-week marketing mastery course.
Oh,
Are you guys in on that? You probably don't need it now.
We weren't allowed. We would have loved it, but we've been on one, so we
were quite lucky there, because I've done one. Actually, I think I might have been on the same one as you guys.
Yeah.
So, but they allowed Jude to do it, which is good, because it's so much better than it was. Even just some of the stuff that Jude said back to me, I'm like, oh, that's new information. So, but I have to admit,
you're going to go back on that then, Carlene. With some of the courses.
I hope they'll open it up to other people, or at least you might be able to see the recordings or something.
Yeah.
But no, I have to say, since even just in the last couple of weeks, since Jude's now focusing more on the SFM stuff, it just feels like it's falling into place. There's a void missing. We're bouncing ideas off of each other and teaching each other. So you guys have had this from the start. You've been in this together, haven't you? How have you found it? 2.5 years, did you say? Have you found it working together? And
well, we've always worked together. So when we got together and we started out with the restaurant, we've been together since early 20s, working together, but slightly different, because in the restaurant trade, I was front of house, Steve was in the kitchen. So, you know, we'd meet briefly in between, but I ran there, Steve ran here. So it was not such a close knit sort of connection as we do with SFM. So we've had ups and downs, many an argument, many a you're not listening to me, many a I'm right, you're wrong moment, but you just learn to adapt and walk away for a bit and just think, hang on, well, maybe I do need to reconsider. And I think the biggest thing for me, I've always been a bit of a perfectionist. So although I'll try and race through stuff and get it done quick, I got all that knocked out of me right at the start, because I just thought this is no way going to be a very quick journey, this, with the amount of stuff that was being thrown at us. But when Steve came in to do the 9-day journey for him, and he started doing his content, I would be here going, oh, you can't put that out. Delete, delete, delete. And he'd be going, but that's me. And I'm like, you can't say that. You can't speak things like that. You can't do that. You can't put this persona out that you're being professional.
I think Nita was trying to be the SFM instead of just being herself. And she was trying to do my journey for me as well. But obviously she had some good advice and stuff like that. She did it a few months before me. But when I got going on it, it was absolutely brilliant, because I just always wanted to be myself. Because I could probably, a bit like Jude, I was dancing between the devil and the deep blue sea. I could see the potential of it, but at the same time, I didn't want to be in it. I was going to come in, I was going to do it my way. I wasn't going to let the SFM dictate to it either, and especially not Nita, because I was going to determine to do it the way I was going to do it. And I think it works better like that when you're actually individual. Even as a couple, that might sound really daft.
Yeah, but it found us the strengths then.
Yeah, and then we came together.
Work together then, because then when it was like I had to allow him to be him. I couldn't mould him to be what I wanted him to be. That was the hard bit for me.
I was never going to listen to me anyway.
He was his own.
Never.
Own person. But I'm so glad now, because going through everything we've gone through, and he's got just you've got this wonderful humour, haven't you, about you, that anything that can be flipped. And I mean, Justin Wolf calls him the mongrel. Because he just says, that's it, you say it, you don't care, but that's what SFM is all about, isn't it? Being authentic.
Yeah.
And don't put the mask on. And that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to put the mask on for both of us.
Yeah.
Going, oh, you've got to
sound like we're talking to us here.
Yeah. It's the same thing because we were not being ourselves.
Well, me in particular, I mean, as soon as I was in front of, I mean, I'm more relaxed, but I'd like tense up and delete the recording, you know, and just, I think, felt like it had to be someone for other people or someone acceptable to other people.
Yeah.
That's what I've really realized, again, only in the last few weeks. So again, the timing for me hasn't even really been right for me to be going all in, as they say in SFM, because
but you have some inner working to do as well.
that's
You know,
it, yeah.
you have to, like, for me, the best thing for me, so I'm Barbadian, and I left Barbados 20 years ago. So when I came here, I had no friends, no family. I was cut away from my society, and that allowed me to face my demons and challenge them and get rid of those demons that I needed to become a better person. I think SFM has challenged Carlene's demons and be able to
insecurities
and beliefs. Because one of the things that the first thing was, so Alex Smale is our mentor, if that's the correct terminology. And one of the things that Carlene was trying to do was to have her story and her journey used to be able to attract certain, was it called niches? Avatars. His feedback was, no one cares about your journey, Carlene. No one cares. And that touched you a bit, and you had to get over that. And then, so Carlene had to get, and this is beautiful what SFM has done for us, really, because it's made Carlene a lot stronger. So I think that's one of the things. That helps you,
does it?
It does, because it's just, I speak harsh. I'm a fighter. So on that pyramid thing, I'm king and I'm warrior, but more warrior than anything else. Yeah. Right? So probably like yourself there, Steve, you know, I'm not going to listen to you if I know I'm 100% right, because I'm factual.
Well, it's 70% rule, isn't it?
You are black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
have you guys found that you've had any inner work to do? I mean, obviously, Anita, you're saying that you found there was a perfectionist in you, and Steve, you're saying, I'm just me, take me or leave me. So
a lot of work goes into it.
A lot of work.
Yeah, I think a lot of the stuff gets not said with the SFM. Have you been through your platinum yet and all that stuff?
No. We're at gold still.
Yeah, that'll take it to a different level. I think they're actually going to change it now, and they're moving a little bit more away from the mindset thing on that. Very, very not upsetting that.
It was very mindset. It was all total mindset. We weren't thinking it was going to be then about logos and platinum, the brand, branding.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
For all, when we went, which is 2.5 years ago, it was the March, wasn't it, after we joined in January. I think, to be honest, we've gone too soon, but we were told to go. It's never too soon, but I actually think it was.
Yeah.
We're just so brand new into the journey. But having said that, there were so many emotions flying around that room, not just us, everybody. It was so intense. Everyone came home exhausted. But it made you really, like you said, sort of look at those demons and look at what life in a different way and how you are because of how you reacted to things that's gone on in your past, which you didn't know you were being like that because you've just had that put on you from a very young age.
It unravels the baggage, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it unravels so much. And we've had 2 years of constant. Mark Ford's been absolutely fantastic for us. And then when we went to Cape Town in October, again, mindset stuff, it just hit it. Every time we go to an event with SFM, something major happens in the family that really, really tests us again. And this is the part of the unraveling that we've had to try and help get over and realise what's been going on. And even in October, literally last minute, we were like that, whether we were going. And we're so glad we did, because that's been the big turning point for us. And it's like they say, you know, all the spiritual ones, they say, it's the universe's way of testing you to see if this is actually something you really, really want to do. or you're just going to walk away?
Well, on the flight on the way over to Cape Town, my mum was in intensive care at the time. And she had been for 2 weeks prior to us leaving, and she was still in. She was fighting for her life. So to actually go to Cape Town was a massive, massive thing, and we thought, we can't do it. But my problem was I couldn't leave my brother, or I thought I couldn't, because for 30 years since my father passed away, I never let go. And I thought, you know what, this is a do or die time, like Dan Holloway talks about. It's now or never. Because if I let this stop me again, even though she's fighting for her life, and I know that sounds harsh, I'll never do anything with this SFM, and I'll never improve myself, and I'll never empower my brother, my younger brother, only by 5 years, to step up for once in his life.
He's never ever done it.
And he has wilted, and he has hid behind me. I thought, no way, sunshine now. I know this is a big thing, but we've been through a lot with my mum over the years. I'm Nita's dad, and deaths in the family, and us being in hospital, and all the rest of it. But that took a hell of a lot of courage, like what Jude was saying. Of the man, and I thought I was actually acting the bigger man there with the 70% thing that the men should act like, basically. So that taught me a lot, that I have to move on. I think that helped, didn't it?
Yeah, and it all came out again, because we did all the mindset stuff at the Black event, and it all came out again because, of course, the emotions were high for us coming.
Well, they said I'd done the right thing, didn't they?
Yeah, and then when you're around those people who are there for you and understanding you, and they're there to support you and help mentor you, you've got them mindset gurus who can say, well, hang on, that's the first time you've ever stepped away and gone, look after mum.
Put me first. Yeah.
Look after mum. You're old enough and daft enough to do it. We're empowering you to do it, and we're going. And nothing happened.
Not
She came
easy.
out of hospital and it was all fine, but that could have just stopped us in our tracks.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're trying to say. We never, ever empower people. We just think, oh, we have to do it. We've got to do it ourselves. And you've got to learn to, it's the whole thing, isn't it? The cliche. Let go.
And also the sort of limiting thoughts as well. Like if you'd have just run with your initial thoughts of, I need to stay here and look after my mum, he can't do it, then that's limiting, isn't it? But I suppose you're saying the training in SFM, they've opened up your mind to realise that there is life beyond the thoughts.
But
also,
I've already done platinum, Sorry, Jude. Go on,
but more credit to you, which I'm not hearing from your side as well. You had no fear of being judged.
Yeah.
Right?
Well done.
You didn't care. Sorry.
So SFM does this to so many people.
And not being judged is important.
It's all right, Jude. Honestly, we have been through all this ourselves.
It's crazy, isn't it? I mean, I've been on like a roller coaster, and I've been with SFM for 2 years, and at Gold. But it sounds like I've taken myself on a similar thing to what you're talking about comes out in the platinum. So I've, unraveled all this stuff that goes back to my childhood that is now holding me. It's been holding me back, and all right.
Yeah.
Right, big man.
Yeah. It's just.
Give me a hug if we could.
It's just, I think for my whole life, I've been trying to find people like-minded, strong, and I think I'm overwhelmed to have people like this. So.
Thank you for having, giving us time today.
That's fine.
Well, I'm glad we fucked up. This might be the perfect timing then, Jude, with alignment and all that stuff. If you believe in that crazy stuff.
I like it. It's good. But did you say that they're moving away from the mindset stuff?
They're going slightly more into the businessy stuff, because I think people have been asking about concentrating on business a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll get rid of it completely, because it is such a big part.
I think I'll just calm it down a bit.
But for us, when we went, there wasn't an awful lot of business. And I think because there was 30 of us in the room, it was so intense. I mean, I wouldn't change it for the world, but it was exhausting, because everyone's emotions, and once one started, the whole room went. So you've got the big burly fellas pouring their hearts out with their stories of the past and how it's affected them. But I think that's how Blackman brought it out of you and got you to open up. And it was how everyone started to face the fears and realise then it wasn't their fault. That's how they are. That's because of something that's gone on in the past that's just been with them since they're kiddie. And it's just weird to think. But now, the change in us, I mean, the change I see in Steve is just phenomenal.
I know you said that when I met you at the event.
Yeah, I couldn't have done this, Carlene and Jude. No way could I have sparked up or even wanted to be here and just talk normally. It was no way. I didn't even have a mobile phone up until a couple of years ago. I just did not believe in all this technology and happy clappiness and all that. But once I removed myself out my own way, I thought, well, maybe I can just affect a few people's lives here with some of the stories I've got. Not use my baggage all the time as a backstory, because I get talking about all that all the time.
But you know how to deal with it now, don't you? And he can use his experience, having gone through all what we've gone through. He can now relate to, like Jude being as you are there. We can so relate because we've been through it. And we've come out the other side, and we know what you're facing as you go through your journey. And
Jude's strength's there. I mean, I hope you're recording this, by the way.
Yeah, it should be. Yes, it is.
Jude did his advert there in the first 5-10 minutes. Well, first few minutes actually. The advert was there, so when you play that back, you'll think you've got all that word that was naturally spoken. You just then need to film that if you're going to go down the YouTube route. But that's how you'll help more people with your story, and you were just talking.
Yeah.
There was no salesmanship going on there, but that is marketing.
That's
you
great.
just did that with marketing.
Yeah.
Watch us now.
Yeah, no, what Steve's saying about your about us, if we watch that back, what you how you were talking and what you were saying and stuff.
There's lots of hooks in that, Jude, which you might not realise, but when you play it back, you think you've got an advert there.
Yeah.
YouTube ads, definitely. Just work it. 3-minute ad, easy there, mate.
Nice. Can I ask you a couple of questions about the business sort of side of it? So first of all, obviously you said you were in the restaurant trade before. Steve, you said you were anti-tech. So what made you decide to have an online business? I'm assuming that was maybe you, Anita? Us ladies.
I found it on YouTube. I came across the video, I clicked and thought, this sounds good, working off a laptop. Knowing that we were getting older and the aches and pains were coming in, and we were working such long hours that, you know, physically you wake up in the morning, you can hardly move because you're so stiff because of the hours you've been, and now you've been standing. And anyway, to cut long story short, I signed us up. It came through to go to the membership, did the membership, then it came through to the elite, and I was like, oh, I didn't say a word to Steve, but this sounds really right up my street. Signed us to elite, and then Steve was like, what the hell's this just gone out the bank? And I'm like, right, better explain.
The bank was overdrawn. It's the first time in our life, and we've known each other 30 years now, that Nita lied to me.
I didn't lie, I just didn't
tell me the truth.
Tell him what I was doing.
Because I thought we'd been scammed. I said, there's a couple of £1,000 nearly gone out of the bank. What the hell's going on? And then she had to come clean. Oh, by the way, we're going to Momentum Day. What the hell's that?
I knew if I told him, he'd run a mile. And that's why I did it, because I just thought it was frightening for me because I've never done anything tech. Running a restaurant, you don't need tech. You basically look after your website and do it for you. The only thing we have to do is answer a phone and speak to customers. So that was our tech, or using the till. But then Steve said to me, he started to watch a few things, and he's like, "Oh, this is the biggest scam going. Honestly, what have you got us into? This is just don't pay any more money out." Yeah. Went through all that, caused a few arguments because I was like, yeah, it's great way. And he's like, it's not. And then he said, right, okay, we'll do this thing down in London. We'll go. We'll see what it's like. And if after an hour, it's a load of rubbish, we're coming home and we don't talk about it again. Of course, all the way down on the train, I'm thinking, please. And we waited until Momentum Day. We stuck the whole, it was from 9, it went on till 7 in the evening. We stuck the whole day out. Loved every minute of it. Went to the bar after the thing, stayed there till 2 in the morning because no one wanted to leave. Got back to the hotel room and he was just as excited as me, weren't you? He was like, this is it. This is really exciting.
I still didn't want to do it as my career, basically, but I could see it working, and especially for Nita. So, well, Nita can get on with it.
Yeah.
You know, like Batman and Robin, if I can help in any way, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
That was it. He wasn't fully on board.
No,
He was like, yeah, we'll do it, but it's your baby. You do it.
Well, I was happy in my other life, doing cars and selling classic cars and watches. I was happy in my life. And then Nita just rummages everything up. You know,
And his head completely got scrambled and
Yeah. But I needed sorting out emotionally anyway as it happened. A few weeks later, Platinum happened, and I think after Platinum, the rest was history for me.
Sure.
I think when I was on board then.
So no regrets then?
No, definitely no regrets, no.
And how does it feel? Obviously, you know, you've got members underneath you and you're changing other people's lives and helping them make this, you know, online transition as well. How does that feel?
Well, I'll tell you how we could do this another way. We could send you a recording of what happened yesterday on a webinar. And I think that whole 2.5 hours, you might have to skip through this. Jill Humphreys was on we invited Jill Humphreys as a special guest on the webinar. That in a nutshell can encapsulate how the members feel about now being in the SFM.
yeah, it's amazing.
Underneath Jill, everyone, all the ambassadors. And I think we can send them.
Send it over, please. Yeah.
But for us, I think having those members, when you get your first few coming in, you have this panic.
It's hard to explain it, really.
We've had this chat with our members who are getting their new members in. They go into this panic that they've got to help them, they've got to serve them, they've got to. And one member couldn't get his guy to come in and get to the modules, and he couldn't work out what was going wrong, and he was blaming the SFM, and he got really naughty with us that SFM are letting him down because this is his first lead who's signed up to the All In. And he was like, they're all letting me down just when I need them the most, and he really got quite nasty with it, didn't he?
Yeah.
But then we took a step back and we were like, hang on, you can't control that member. Let them find their way. Let SFM do their stuff. Just because they're not doing it how you think they should do it, let them handle it. They're the support team. Let that person get in touch with them. And 2 days later, he came back on. He said, I don't know why I was getting so. He said, because it was my first one and I wanted everything to go smoothly, and it wasn't. He said, because of some setup that had gone wrong in the back. And he was just like, oh, God. Now I can understand that I can't control everything to the nth degree. I've got to let things happen.
Oh, just got window cleaners.
Window cleaners.
Hello.
Oh, he's doing it traditional stuff.
Yeah.
Where do you guys live?
We're up the northwest. Well, so we're up by paying him through the window. So we're on a little peninsula called Wirral. So you've got Liverpool across the River Mersey over there, and you've got North Wales across the River Dee on this side.
Okay.
And this little piece of land in between.
Oh, right.
I'll pay you now. Yeah, we're on the webinar. You were on the webinar. Yeah, we're on the webinar.
Just filmed you on here.
Cleaning the windows.
Window cleaner doesn't know what a webinar is. Right, so the whole fulfillment side, once you start getting them in, and when you see them transforming before your eyes, you see them coming in like little sheep, don't know what to do, can't understand this, do not know what this means, and they come on and you slowly build them up, and then the confidence, just before your eyes, you see the confidence in them starting to go, and then they start coming out in the webinars more regularly. Then they learn little snippets, and then you'll get a new member jumps on your webinar, and then we'll go, oh, so and so, you've just gone through module 7, so would you like to answer his question? And then they feel great, and again, it comes down to empowering, and then they feel empowered because they've learned, and they're like, I can help someone. And then straight away they're getting that feeling of what it's like to help somebody who's coming behind, and then they're going to take that then onto their own members.
We touched on that.
We do a lot of that in our webinars. We do a lot of asking the other members to answer the questions, because we know they're going through the modules, they're only a few steps ahead. And
it probably helps the interactions and the relationship building amongst those guys as well.
Because sometimes I think they get fed up just listening to us two. So if we use somebody else in the group to come out and step forward and give them their answers.
That's why we brought special guests out now. We're going to maybe do that as a repeat now. We'll try and pull a rabbit out of a hat and get a special guest.
Yeah, once a month or something, just as a surprise for them.
So you're nurturing your actual members. You're being a leader to them.
Yeah. And
weekly webinars then.
We do weekly ones, and that's what Jill touched on yesterday, because she said to our members on the call yesterday, you are privileged to be part of this group, because there's not many referring affiliates do what these two do. And when we came off the call, we rang Jill and I said, well, what do you mean? And she said, there's not many people go that extra mile to look after the membership. Most affiliates leave them to get on with it.
Yeah.
I said, maybe that's because we've been in the restaurant trade. We're used to being the hospitality people. It's natural in us. I've been in the pub trade for years before that. So whether that's just something naturally born into the pair of us, I don't know, but it only feels right to help them. And we look at Dan and we see how much value Dan gives. And we know that this whole thing with him was, when he came in at the beginning, he came in to make sales, and it was money, money, money. And when Justin Wolfe knocked that out of him and said, no, it's about you giving the value, then the money will take care of itself. That's what we've done. We've swiveled, because for us being in business for years, it's always been about money. And now it's like, don't focus so much on the money, focus on what you can do to help all these members that you've now got. And that's what keeps them in, because so many affiliates have people coming in, going out, coming in, going out.
Oh, really?
And we just keep giving and giving and giving. And they love the webinars. We don't do it like a strict sit and it's a question answers. Ours is very informal. They all come out and chat. They're all unmuted. They can all shout out their comments whenever they want. It's just a little family, isn't it?
Yeah, it was brilliant.
Yeah.
It's been going really well over the last 6 months. I think that's been the difference, really, guys. Is once we put ourselves out there, the magic started to happen, and it just started to unfold.
That only happened since Black at Cape Town October, you see.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you know, you sort of overcame that resistance not to go, and then look what's happened since then. And you know, you've obviously accelerated in the last few months.
Yeah.
It's our son's friend calling for him. It's summer holidays now, so.
I think being around other people, Carlene, as well, who it's infectious. They do say all the time, hang around with the people that are going to be a circle of influence.
Yeah.
And that Black retreat was absolutely something else. I think they hit the golden nugget with that retreat. And it's such a shame that there's not one this year. Well, hoping there might be one planned at the end of the year. I think Stuart Ross was talking about one, but I'm not sure at the moment.
But we said there's not enough interaction going on between members.
No,
they're so out doing their own thing, and I know we're in a leadership group, which we've not been a part. We've not really put ourselves out there because we've been too busy on our own thing. And I said to Steve, we need to start giving a bit back, you know, because there's all these people in the community who are struggling, and if you can just give them a half an hour of your time. And I had a call with some of the people from Cape Town, and we have gotten a little Zoom together, and they were like, will you host it because you do it? And I was like, yeah, okay. Came on, I was like, what do you want to know? And they were like, just talk about your journey and what you've been through. And when we said about our struggles, and they were like, that's us. Oh my God, it's not just me. And it really relates to people. And then you realise that you're not on your own. And I think more of that is needed, because none of us reach out enough. We're all buggers. We all try and just stay in our own little world.
Well, I've experienced just the same as well. I mean, I did have Ella, so I had a few months off, and have to admit, when I was pregnant, it was not that easy trying to think creatively and stuff. But I've just about in the last week started doing the 90-day videos again, and I'm really getting that feeling now from doing the videos, and I'm starting to feel actually for the first time I really feel like I'm part of the community with like-minded people. And I did one yesterday, I think it was, and it was, you know, about being a mum and it all being a bit much sometimes. And another mum in the journey resonated, and then she did a video about that. And you know, it's when you do put yourself out there, you do start to realize, you know, how many other people either need to hear it or that can help you even, you know. So it is amazing.
I think we all underestimate the power of the people here in this community. And it's only when you put yourself out there and feel uncomfortable pushing yourself out there that you get the answers you're looking for, really. And we were the same. We very, very rarely did anything in the tribe. We did the 90 days, and then everything Mark Ford was trying to push us into. Do you want to go on this thing, or do you want to go to this coach? And then we're like, no, we're fine. And eventually they broke us down because they can see your potential.
Yeah.
Even though you can't. And they push and push and push you until you eventually go, oh, go on then, I'll do it, you know. And then the next thing is you look back and you think, my God, we needed that. We needed that push, because if we hadn't, we'd still be stuck probably where we were a year ago.
Have you introduced Jude out officially on your 90 day, or are you doing the 90 day like?
I should actually. Because Carlene started this 2 years ago, and because I think you get probed to do like these 90 days and everything of the sort. I haven't got to that stage yet. I either haven't got to that stage or I'm missing something.
No, you haven't got there yet.
Okay, so I will be doing it, because I think it's important to do from the beginning to end. I think that's important, rather than actually going through it to just make the cash. Yeah. So yeah, but I haven't got there yet, Steve.
I've actually been saying since about Christmas, like, I must just redo those modules, you know, because after getting back after having Ella, I was like, right, I need to redo the modules. And you know, weeks, months passed, and then we got to this point, and I had done module 1, and then Jude said, because his friends started asking him about it, and he was telling him what he thought he knew about SFM, but he was wrong. But I do think there was a little bit of a, like, if he's going to start an online business, I want to make sure that I'm ahead of him. And so now we're doing it together. But I mean, I don't know if you guys know, but they've massively improved and increased the quality of the content in the modules. So where I had 100% completed them all before, modules 3, 4, and 5 are now only 30 or 40% complete, and there's 2 more modules. So
we've just refreshed that.
We've gone through them.
Yeah.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, we recently went through them to get 100% at backup.
And they dropped again now, you know. They went to 100%, and they just
really
dropped again.
Module 4's just had something else added to the end. Was it 4? I think it's 4. Module 4's had something else added onto the end of it now, which is all to do with the emails that they send. Although we've got the 24 new emails now that they can put into their email list. And I went and had a look at those as well, and there's some really well written emails there. I'm not using them in my campaigns, because obviously we've got the campaigns running nicely, but I'm pinching a couple of them to send out broadcasts.
Good idea. So, they're just constantly improving things. I'm really sorry, but we are going to have to go in a minute, because
it's all right.
We're going to get Gabriella from nursery.
Yeah.
And then,
you know, I think would be a good idea for you two guys today, especially off the back of this call. Why don't you bring Jude out? I know it's your 90 day, Carlene, but basically it's together. Why don't you do one together today while we've
actually
got
together? Okay.
Yeah. It's a good idea.
Is that what you did together?
We did one each, but then we also did a joint one. But even on my separate one, I had a lot of Nita coming in, and we flipped a little bit of the banter.
Well, this goes back my 90-day journey. Yeah. So I started in the original 90-day journey, and about halfway through, we walked down the beach, and I just got the phone out and started talking. I just got Steve in on the background, and I said, "Do you want to say a few words?" And he had a woolly. It was the winter. He pulled this woolly hat tight, and he went, "No, I'll just want a cup of tea. And he's still, and I'm like, and a piece of cake. And I'm on the camera thinking, oh my God. I thought, you know what, Nita, do not delete it. In the past, I would have hit delete.
Yeah.
I thought, no, put it out. It's live.
I think though, back to Carlene and Jude, while the vibration's high now, and while you've got all this in your head, Jude, particularly, jump into Carlene as a special guest and go, voila.
You don't have to be on all of them, just the odd one.
Nothing serious. Just, there you go. We're
That's
doing
good.
Because we've just
Good idea.
That's what I was going to say. Actually, we did the success sessions, which is the new thing with Frank. And so we did that last week, and then when we finished, we did one. So you were in my second video. We did it together. So yes, that's a good idea every now and then if we do the journey as well, that would be really good.
Yeah.
Many couples doing this.
There isn't many couples, and I think a couple gives people a little bit more, I don't know,
But trust as well.
trust, I suppose. Yeah, that you're in it together. Yeah.
Excellent. Is there anything else you want to ask then?
No, it's been great. Hopefully we can do this more often.
Excellent. Thank you. Oh, thanks so much for your time today, guys.
Yeah, great talking to you. Great talking to you.
All right, take care.
Reach out, especially you, Jude, if you need to speak, one-to-one.
Yeah, man to man. We'll man it up. We'll hug it out.
I'm going to say, Steve has a major empath, and he is wonderful at helping people, aren't you? And
Okay.
He is. He is.
Oh, it'd be lovely if we can do this again sometime as
Oh,
well.
we've got to. Yeah. Got to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, speak soon.
See you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.